So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today I have an exciting video for you guys. It's a DIY oil change on my BMW E90. I haven't done an oil change video on the channel at all. So this is my very first. So if there are any shortcomings, I hope I do address everything. This guide will be able to guide you for petrol models and diesel models, whichever variant you have. This guide will be sufficient for you guys. Instead, let's get into this video, starting with what we have and what's needed. Let's get started. Starting with what I've been provided. I've been provided by LiquiMoly SA the LiquiMoly 5W30 long-time high-tech motor oil, as well as another additional liter, which brings up the total capacity of 6 liters for this car. As well as we have the Engine Flush Plus, the Molygen Motor Protect, which is the additive we're going to be adding to this vehicle, as well as some other goodies as well. The oil filter is what I have purchased, so that's what's needed for this oil change. They have also been graciously supplied me the diesel system cleaner, as well as the diesel system intake cleaner. Now, these will be in separate videos. This is my BMW 320D. It's an M47 2006 model. As you guys know, if you've been subscribed to the channel for a while, you know that I have this car for a while, and I've just rebuilt the engine as of last year, which is June 2022. And I haven't given you guys an update as yet, which is exactly what we're going to be doing in this video and addressing everything all at once, so you guys can see what's up. To get started with the oil service, first thing I'm going to show you exactly where you're going to find everything. The oil filter is located at the back of the engine, or towards the middle of the engine on the side here. Use a 36mm socket, which I'm going to show you guys right now. So in terms of tools, all you're going to be using is a 36mm socket to remove the oil filter cap, as well as I think it's a 15 or 16mm which will remove the drain plug. You'll need at least 2 jack stands if you're going to be doing it my way, or you can just use one and jack up the other side. And obviously you need a jack. Specific tools you'll need is a torque wrench to torque it down to the correct spec, as well as something to catch the oil. Now I have an oil catcher gallon over here, which I'll link everything, all the tools and everything will be linked in the video description if you want to check everything out. So let's get into the video. I've rambled along for a while now. Let's get into it. Before we drain the oil, I'm going to be adding in the engine flush. I'm going to fill it into the car and let the car idle for 10 minutes. Thereafter, it'll be ready to drain the oil. You're going to be adding this engine flush plus, which all the directions are on the back of the can. It is a 300ml can, which is suitable for 6 liters of oil, which is exactly the amount that this engine takes. So I'm going to start the car up and let it idle for 10 minutes and let it idle with this circulating in the system, and thereafter I'm going to drain the oil. But before we add it, I'm going to take a measurement of the amount of oil that's in the engine now, so we know exactly how much we are starting off with before we add more. According to this, we are just on the halfway mark, which is exactly what we need. So now I can just add the oil without having to worry if I'm going to be overfilling it, and thereafter I'm going to start the car. Now with that part done, let's go ahead and start the car. We're going to let the car run for 10 to 15 minutes before we start draining the oil. So let it get up to temperature and then we can drain the oil. I'm a little bit talking a bit too loud now because the car is loud, but just bear with me. So it's just over 10 minutes that this car is idling now, so I'm going to switch it off and we're going to start the oil change. There's a lot of ramble around, a lot of preparation, but now it's time to get into it. Now that the engine flush has had time to circulate and the engine is nicely up to temperature, in that 10 minutes, now time to drain the oil. But first what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack open the oil filler cap. I'm going to pull out the dipstick as well as to open up the oil filter cap. That way, there's not much of a vacuum effect when draining the oil. It's going to be gushing out. Just be prepared for that. Before we drain the oil, there's some drain nut. It's actually a 17mm, which I will go over the entire tool list afterwards. But it's a 17mm and a copper crush washer that's inside here. This needs to be torqued down to 25 Newton meters once everything is complete. It is also recommended that you put down some cardboard or some newspaper or something that's going to catch off any extra oil should it fall onto the ground. That way you're not making a mess. Now that the bolt is loose, I'm going to be moving the camera out of the way to avoid damaging everything, and I'm going to be moving this into place somewhere I think that the oil is going to be catching. It's important that you remove the little vent for your drain cap, so there's no pressure that's being built up here, as well as to remove the other cap completely. So now, moment of truth. That was absolutely perfect. And I have the nut in my hand. while that's raining, let me remove the oil filter. To remove the oil filter, you're going to use your long extension and a 1/2-inch ratchet, as well as a 36mm socket. If your car doesn't take a 36mm, then it'll require the oil filter cap wrench, which I will leave linked in the video description for everything that's regarding E90 oil change. But for now, let's get started removing this. With this loosened up, so what we're doing is removing the oil filter from its housing. Let it drip out. And I'm gonna catch it as fast as I can. This could be messy, but now to replace the oil filter, all you're gonna do is you replace the paper type, the cartridge that comes out of it. Linked in the description, you'll find all relevant brands or types of oil filters that can work for your vehicle, for the specific car actually. So what we're going to do is in the box it comes with a new O-ring as well as a new crush washer for the sump plug. So you don't have to worry about that. Depending on the filter that you get, sometimes they include all the O-rings, or sometimes they include just one, the main one actually. So that's what this filter came with. Different types of filters come with different types of O-ring kit. So just be wary of the ones that you're going to be getting. When it comes time to removing the O-ring, as you can see, this one has been crushed flat. I don't know if you guys can see it. Typically you'll use a pick tool, but if you don't have access to one, it's fine. All you're going to do is you can take a thin flathead screwdriver and just get it underneath the O-ring and just pry out. It's best if you do it from outside in. So just like that, pick it up. And there you have it, O-ring is out. As you can see, it is flattened, so it needs to be replaced, which is exactly what we have here now. So open this up, slide this on, just like that, and you're going to take some excess oil from inside the filter housing and just coat the O-ring itself. That way it ensures it has a good seal. And then once you're done, it needs some force and it clips in. Simple as that. Then you can just get to installing it again. So what you're going to do is just take it as like this, get most of these cables out of the way, the main power cable, and you're just going to hand tighten it like that until you get to the O-ring. You're just going to stop there for now. Once everything is done draining, plug it back up. Once you're ready to tighten up everything, grab a torque wrench and set it to 25 Newton meters. Thereafter, you're using a 17mm socket that you use to open up the drain nut. You use the same thing to use it on a torque wrench to torque everything to spec. It's 25 Newton meters for the sump plug as well as 25 Newton meters for the oil filter as well. And while we're at it, we can close up the oil container so that we don't make a mess everywhere else, and set it aside. And that, guys, is basically the gist of it. All you need to do is just fill in the engine oil and we're good to go. Now that we have the car back on the ground, it's now time to fill the oil. So you want to fill in the majority first, and thereafter you have some sort of control. Now you're probably asking, how do I know, or how do I find out what is the right oil for my car if I'm going to be doing an oil change? The answer is very simple. The LiquiMoly Advantage app. The LiquiMoly Advantage app is a key tool in any automotive project. If it is for your personal car or whether you own a business or workshop or whatever it is, the LiquiMoly Advantage app is a go-to resource for engine oil or whatever oil it is for your vehicle. To get the app, all you have to do is just click the link in the description down below or scan the QR code that's going to appear on screen right now. That'll take you to a download link, whether it's for iOS or Android or whatever it is that's on that your platform is. Thereafter, you just create a free account and you have access to the oil guide, which is right there. But if your vehicle is listed, there's a good chance that you will find every single fluid that you require, whether it's from engine oil, transmission oil, power steering oil, whatever it is, you will find it there, as well as the correct capacity, as well as alternatives that you can use should you not have the correct fluids available. So in the description down below, you'll be able to find the download link, or you can scan the QR code on the screen right now, and thereafter you'll know exactly where to go from there. With that being said, let's complete this oil change. Now with the 5 liter fill in, I'm going to start the car, let everything circulate, get into all of the oil journals, into the oil filter and everything, and then I'm going to fill in the last amount before we measure again. Generally, this is what you do when you get everything right. It's not going to be 100% accurate the first time. You always want to start the car, because this is a turbocharged car, you want everything to fill in the right places, as well as with the oil filter as well. You're going to start everything up, let it get up to temperature again, not for 10 minutes, but just for like about a minute or so, and thereafter we can measure it again. Just want to show you guys exactly what I mean. As you guys can see, the oil is saying it's filled up to the maximum right now, which we know is incorrect. So I'm going to measure this again after starting the car. Now that it's idling, we're just going to let it get up to a little bit of a temperature cycle. Let the oil cycle throughout every part of the engine. And then after we're going to just measure it one more time. Okay, so it's been about a minute or two since I let the car idle. Now I'm going to measure the oil and have a look and see what it is now. So as you can see, it has dropped significantly, about half a liter or so. So now you can see, here's it dry, and here's the part where the oil is contacting. Now bear in mind, this will need to drop down and get into the sump completely for it to get full. But where it is now is exactly where it needs to be. So what we're going to do now, we're going to top up with half a liter, or just until it gets filled to the maximum, which is here. And now for the star of the show. This is the Molygen Motor Protect Anti-Friction Additive. This comes in a 500 milliliter can, which will replace half a liter of your engine oil. As you guys have seen that the oil is short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding this in, start the vehicle one more time, and if there is any amount that's still short, that's when we top up with the other liter that we have on the table right now. After filling in the Molygen additive, it's still slightly short, so it means half a liter was there, so it is 1 liter short. Now that brings us to this little gallon here. This is a 1 liter bottle, which we're going to be using half of this to top it up, get the oil to the right level, and I'm going to keep this in the car just in case. So as you can see from the indicator here, we just want to try and get it up to this point here, which is 5 lines down, which means half a liter. So let's get to it. A little bit more. And there we go. And now we should be good to go. So I'm going to just wipe off the excess that I've dropped off. Wipe off the oil cap. And just do one final measurement on the dipstick. And we are full. The last step is to reset the service now light. So all you do is insert the key, turn on the ignition. As you can see, it's overdue by 190. You hold down the trip reset button until this comes up. You're going to use the BC button, which is here. Scroll until you see oil level. You're going to press the BC button once, and you're going to press and hold it again. You'll see that clock mark come up, and thereafter the service is reset. What I'm going to do is, in a separate video, I'm going to show you guys how to reset this date with a pro tool if you have one. I'm going to change it to July 2024. I like to keep it 15,000 or 1 year. Well, there you have it, guys. That's oil change on your BMW done. Super simple, super easy. Anyone can do it, and I believe it's a good thing that anyone can replace their own oil. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it feedback in the comment section. Like the video, share with your friends. The more shares, the more views we get on this video, the higher chance we can get this video gone much bigger and more entries can be given. That way, everyone has an equal chance. So thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, drive safe, and I'll see you soon. Peace.